My name is Chris Horton, and I'm a historian, researcher, writer, and explorer of the unknown. My style is very old school, but with courtesy and respect for the dead. My work takes me to undiscovered places, hidden realms and ancient spaces, which are hitherto unknown to the modern world or seldomly explored. These mostly forgotten relics of tales yet to be shared and dark secrets rarely shown. As a former police detective, I have no fear of the dead, but a respect and a willingness to learn and share as you join me on another journey back into the shadows of time and to those that passed before us. And here we are in the outer gatehouse at Baconsthorpe Castle in Norfolk. I love this place. It has so much going for it in terms of history and of course in terms of activity which has been captured at this very location. Joining with me of course is Eddie, and Eddie will speak to you again very shortly. But firstly, just some background history to Baconsthorpe Castle. The castle as it exists today largely consists of an outer gatehouse, the one I'm standing in at the moment, an inner gatehouse with a curtain wall. There were originally buildings inside the castle, but sadly most have gone. There is the remains of a building which was used as a weaving shed because the family were quite prosperous for around 200 years in weaving before falling out of favour in the 17th century and becoming bankrupt. But the castle itself was built in 1415 by a rather unscrupulous rogue, a man by the name of John Hayden, who was a lawyer. And because of Hayden's, she would say, questionable wheelings and dealings with the landed gentry, he was forced to build this fortified manor house to protect himself against attack from these people. But would Baconsthorpe Castle have been any use in a siege? Well, basically, it was built to stop people with bows and arrows. By the year 1415, castles had largely fallen out of favour because of the siege cannon. A siege cannon could easily have breached the castle walls, and the Haydens could have fallen to swords and arrows very, very quickly. But of course, Hayden wasn't too worried about siege cannons arriving on his doorstep. He was worried about his neighbours for whom he owed money to, or for whom he had swindled out of vast sums of cash. And so he built this protected fort, which kept the family safe and secure for over 200 years. The Haydens eventually became wealthy sheep merchants and wool merchants, weaving very fine cloth. But after 200 years, they fell into poverty and they were forced to sell part of the castle, as a result of which today we see this ruin before your very eyes. Nothing came much further from the Haydens. They gradually finished without issue, and it was passed down to other relatives until the early part of the 20th century, in fact 1921, when the outer gatehouse, this beautiful building with a pepper pot towers, collapsed under a heavy storm. In later years, the site was acquired by English Heritage, or I believe at the time, of course, the Ministry of Works, and it is now open to the public at any reasonable time to come and enjoy the spectacular views and the architecture which still exists here. Now, if I can draw your attention here, inside this outer gatehouse, there are traces of the original medieval gatehouse. The archway is still here. That would have been infilled when this was converted into a family home. And certainly on the wall above the fireplace, you can see where wood's been placed into the brickwork, which would denote at some point wooden or perhaps oak panelling was affixed to it, which would have given this a rather grand look and no doubt would have impressed a lot of people in this particular locality. And even today, this ruin certainly impresses me. It is absolutely beautiful. And again, coming back to the original roots to the medieval period, we can see holes in certain points inside the walls which were used as scaffold points to allow the builders to continue the bricklaying up until the roof of the building. So it does acquire certain aspects that you would find in churches and castles inside this gatehouse. The inner gatehouse is largely a ruin. There are just 2 chambers which exist there today. One is the steward's room and the other is the gatekeeper's room. And the gatekeeper's job obviously was to check any people coming to the castle any time of the day or night, and the steward was there to service his lord and master who lived on the upper floors or upper chambers inside this particular building. Unfortunately, the upper chambers have long since gone, but the 2 lower rooms still exist today. So what we're hoping to do tonight is to carry out a paranormal investigation, firstly in the outer gatehouse with a ghost box. We never picked anything up on a camcorder last time. And then moving into the inner gatehouse and the 2 lower chambers, where again we're hoping to pick up activity. And as you recall from our last visit here, Eddie left a locked off camcorder in the steward's room and picked up this amazing light anomaly, which you can see here. So I'm personally hopeful we're going to pick up something really wonderful tonight. Eddie's certainly looking forward to it. And in fact, let me bring Eddie over to you now, and Eddie can say a few words about what he's actually felt since he arrived here earlier today and what he's hoping to capture here tonight. Well, thanks for joining me today here at Baconsthorpe Castle. We've been here before together on one occasion.
Yes.
And we picked up that fantastic light anomaly, which I've just told everybody about.
I was really happy with that one.
So what are you hoping to pick up here tonight?
More of the same.
More of the same? Have you felt anything since you've been here?
Not too much at the moment. It's just sort of been... It's like as though there's something underneath there just waiting.
Yeah, like a layer underneath the skin.
A little layer just waiting to actually be coming
through.
Well,
wouldn't that be incredible if you picked up a little bit more than just a light anomaly, but some really Class A EVP, and perhaps the apparition of a ghost?
Before.
Yeah.
Got some lovely EVP last time.
Oh, it was absolutely marvellous.
Indeed. With me, I mean to say today, I've just loved the wildlife. Watching the wildlife, and that's been wonderful. And I actually got female dragonflies laying eggs, so that was fantastic for me.
You even got butterflies mating?
No, I didn't get butterflies. Yes, I did get butterflies.
You did?
I did. But the main one, 3 pigeons all together, 1 female in the middle, 2 at both sides, and the female put one of the males, and then they just flew off together. I've never seen that before in my life, and it was fantastic.
It's dating for you, isn't it, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the other interesting feature here, I mentioned that there was a moat around the building, and in the steward's room, where we're going to, you'll notice that on one side there are 2 large holes which go through the floor and into the moat. And outside you can see flumes, which was used as a garderobe, which is basically a medieval toilet. So if people were on the toilet downstairs or upstairs, it would pass into the moat, and somebody of even lower order another baldric, would actually go there the following day and scoop up all the poop. So you can imagine how smelly and how uncomfortable it must have been. But I understand, of course, when it was built, it was quite luxurious. As I said to everybody just a short while ago about the furnishings which would have been inside this particular outer gatehouse. It is an amazing structure. It is so beautiful. But like everything, unfortunately, in life, everything eventually fades away, and Baconsthorpe Castle is no exception to that truth. And so tonight we're hoping to once more tap into the spiritual energy which pervades here and bring to you something really interesting to share and enjoy. Any last words, Eddie?
I'm looking forward to it.
He's looking forward to it. Okay, we'll catch you again very shortly, in fact, as I clip my fingers.
What do you think of what happened to the old place since you've gone? We think it's so sad.
Stop.
Sorry, could you repeat that, please? That was a spirit voice.
It's definitely something, isn't it?
Try again. You seem to have a line of contact here, Eddie.
I'd love to be able to get that tower back.
We are heard.
That was definitely a contact.
We are hurt.
We are hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand why you'd be hurt, because we're hurt seeing it in the situation that it is. So I can understand you being hurt. I'd love to see that tile put back. Would you like to see the tile put back?
It's now one.
Ask if they were in the house when it was struck by the wind, when it collapsed.
Were you in the house when it was struck by the wind?
Signed Mel.
Must have been really frightening for you. Did it happen during the day or night? I'd love to know how many people are actually still residing at the castle today.
Year after year.
Could anyone tell me your name? Can you tell me your first name, please?
Yeah.
What is it, please?
Really?
Is it that?
The feeling that
Did you keep animals here? Was it a small farm?
the text.
Was there a king on the throne at the time when you were here?
It would.
Did you just say what I think you said?
What?
Edward.
Yeah, I thought it sounded like Edward, yeah.
Did you say my name, Edward? Or are you talking about the king that was on the throne?
Yeah, it was King Edward.
Are you talking of the king?
In fact, he'd only been on the throne a few years when this house was destroyed. You know, I love this property, and it hurts me to see it like this because I feel deep down it could be restored if the will was there to do it.
From the
Would you like to see this house rebuilt again? I'm asking you a serious question. Sorry, what was that? Where did you move to when the building was destroyed? Those that lived here when it was destroyed, where did you move to? Did you move out of the district? A name that keeps coming into my mind, and it's been here since we arrived here, is the name of Agnes. Is there an Agnes here?
but also a really
Can you try a bit harder, please?
Is there an Agnes here? Hello?
Oh, it's either that or yeah. Was that yes or hello? Hello?
Hello.
My name is Chris.
I'm Eddie. What's your name?
Are you Agnes?
What's your name?
Salah can...
Sal Harkins. Sal Harkins. Was that Sal Harkins? That was definitely a name. Yeah, and again. And that had a Norfolk accent.
Sarah Hawkins?
Was it Sarah or Sally? Did she live here?
I think that late on. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for identifying yourself. That was very kind of you. Thank you. And all we're asking for is someone who's kind enough to speak to us back, to answer our questions if you could. I know it's difficult for you. You have to use that sound, that hissing noise, to use that to make it into words. Can you do that?
I suppose you could say it's a total game to be able to hear your voice.
Yeah.
Really well, actually.
No, I think it's incredible.
Really well.
No, that's really amazing. As darkness descended upon the site of Baconsthorpe Castle, we made our way down to the inner gatehouse, which is surrounded by a moat and a curtain wall. Standing within the curtain wall area during the vast green expanse that exists there today, you can get a sense of history, but nothing more. But when darkness descends, it's almost seemingly that the spirits of those who have long since passed over rise up once more to take repossession of what was theirs. And nothing more in particular, which I should refer to here as a very odd experience, occurred in the old weaving shed, when I came into contact with the presences of 3 small children and a rather stern lady. Any persons in spirit, could you give me an indication, please, of your presence? Any spirits of this building, please, could you use my body to project yourself through my body to give you the energy to either make yourself, your presence aware to us, or give us some indication, please, of your presence. If you would speak to us or touch us, or even throw a stone or make some other noise. As I stood within the ruin, I could feel a number of presences milling around me, which seemingly was captured by the sound of whispering.
Hope you could knock on something.
I'm really, it's like a wave of energy just flying across me, over me. It's quite intense.
It's quite strong, if I can honestly say that, yeah.
Yes.
I certainly feel that.
Hang on.
The interesting side of it, nothing down there. It's
Let me
just
just
here.
feel. Hang on. It's 3 children. 3 children. One is, they're all under 9 or 10. They're very small, physically very small, like stunted growth perhaps. Little girl and 2 boys. The little girl's the youngest. Can you tell me your name, please? Can you tell me your names? Can you tell me your names? Can you tell me your names? I'm just going to sit kneel down.
It's two names that I'm getting, whether there's any connection with the place, I don't know.
This is, yeah, but this is a,
Esme and Gerald.
I'm not getting any names at all, but this is a very warm, connecting feeling. Because women would work in here, they would weave, and they would take their children with them. And you can imagine that with the old weaving equipment, there'd be some kind of industrial accident, or the children just might die of natural causes, or even malnutrition, who knows. But these are very old energies that I'm feeling, these children. I just want to hold them, but I can't. It's that kind of, I get the feeling they want to hold me. They want to surround themselves. They want to hug me. It's a weird feeling. They're here. They're right here. It's getting stronger again.
It's strange, isn't it? Really strange.
Can you feel it?
Yeah.
The camera's a bit low there, so I'm probably going to go off camera, but the energy that we're feeling there, it's just like waves of energy, like water flowing over us. And it's such a warm feeling. It's not a negative energy, it's a very positive energy.
It's really nice. Strange, but really
Yeah,
nice.
you can feel it.
Yeah, it's just like, what do you call it? I suppose like a tide.
And I just feel this compassion. I just feel this love. I can feel it.
On that side I haven't got, but...
Oh, it's so warm. It's
warm.
It's embracing it. It's like they've received an acknowledgement of the fact that they exist. At least at this moment in time they exist.
Is it possible for you to be able to say anything?
And I'm getting pains across the top of my head.
Is it possible for you to be able to say anything?
It's just amazing. Oh, and I see something else.
What's that?
Down there is a woman. Here. Just here. Can you just hold this, Eddie? This is something else. This is somebody different. Sorry, mate. Here. This is how I'm seeing her. She's like an overseer. She's not the manager or whatever rank they had decided upon themselves, but she's in charge. She's a very hard, cold woman.
Mm-hmm.
She's a woman who's lost a lot of things in her life, and I get the feeling that she had lost a family, but she survived, and she was the overseer, and she's the one that drives, and she's the one that the others are in fear of. She's not evil, she's just a very hard person.
So basically doing a job what she's been told to do.
Yeah, and she's got, like for example, when I was standing there talking about the children, she does not approve of that. She does not approve of that because she hasn't got her children. She lost her children. And she's very, very harsh. She's probably harsher upon herself than she is on others. But the others are in fear of her, not as an evil person or spirit, but somebody who's got this power, this control.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, really... It's the complete opposite to what I'm feeling over there. It's just a shallowness, an emptiness, a coldness, a void. So different to what I'm feeling. From where I was standing there to where I'm standing here. Give me the camera. Come on, step down here and tell me if you feel anything.
Totally two different feelings.
Yeah, you go down there and have a look. I'm smelling smoke now. It's a hard energy. It's unforgiving.
Strange feeling.
Are you feeling it?
Oh God, yeah. Very steely, isn't she?
Yeah, oh absolutely. She's a tough cookie. But she's not evil.
No.
Just hard. She drives them and makes them work really. She makes them work perhaps too hardly, too harshly.
Strange. Ease come up. I was starting to ease. Still feel her strength though.
Yeah, she's pretty intolerant. She's very disciplined. But her discipline is driven by her own loss.
So you can't say the kind of feeling I'm getting. I sort of like sternness. Really stern.
When I was talking to those children, I looked round
Strange.
and I could see, in my third eye, I could see her standing at the other end of this room, looking very sternly with her arms folded.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably in her 40s, but she looks much older. She's had a lot of pain etched on her face in her lifetime. She's suffered very badly. And she uses that negativity to control the people that work under her. She doesn't tolerate sloppiness. Everything has to be just so.
That's the way how it was then though, wasn't it?
Yeah. This building was her pride. All those looms that and the women weaving in here, this was her space. This meant a great deal to her in her lifetime.
I tell you what I feel is, this was her spot there, and she'd be looking over the ones that were working, and if any of them didn't slacked off, that's when she would fire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. She didn't tolerate slackers. It's quite an emotional experience in here. And this is the weaving shed at Baconsthorpe Castle, or the weaving building.
We've never been in here. And
No,
they're
we've
so
never done anything
strong.
here before. But I don't feel that warmness to hug me and love me like I felt when I was standing at the other end and by the children.
Completely different feel.
Yeah, it's quite emotional, isn't it?
Strange feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
I literally feel as though it's sort of like, are they sort of doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wouldn't like to have got on the back
On the dark side of her, no, definitely not. Shall we go back into the main building? I'm feeling a bit drained now. I want to sit down for a bit. You got your camera running? You got your camera running here?
Let's stick the camera aside, yeah. I really want to leave that.
There's Eddie's camera there, so hopefully it'll pick something up. Thank you for showing yourself to me. Thank you for being close to me. I will leave you in love and peace. I really do appreciate the fact that whoever's children you are, that if you're a parent or your mother, I really thank you for allowing this to happen. So this is the inside of the weaving shed. Go back towards the tower. The moon is virtually on full capacity. It's not quite a full moon, obviously, but the light is in quite bright in here actually. It's like daylight in here. Well, that was certainly interesting to come across those presences so strongly, which were felt by Eddie too, and to be able to tap into it was quite an experience for me. It was quite draining in point of fact, and especially the presence of this rather stern overseer, a woman who was short of emotion but strong on discipline. And what was actually captured to camera I found particularly enthralling, and particularly so for Eddie, because Eddie is not normally a person that can draw into what I'm feeling at any one time. We all have different experiences, and yet on this occasion we were both unified by what we were feeling and experiencing. But if that wasn't interesting, you'll certainly find what took place a short while later when we visited the inner keep and performed a ghost box session, which came across some very unusual and highly interesting activity. Okay, we've come here in love, light and peace. I'm sorry to trouble you. We're just trying to make friendly and peaceful contact with you. You said hello. Are you still there, please? What is your name, please? Can you try harder, please? I'll let you have a go on those and I'll stand back. Hello.
Hello.
Can I just know that you're here the best you possibly can, please? Can you try and do that for us, please? Did you enjoy working here? Yeah, you enjoyed it, did you? You had to share who people off? Good man. Did you like the castle?
Yeah.
Can you see us? Yes. I think so. How many of you are there? Did you just say 2? Could you tell us what your name is, please? I'm Eddie. Mrs. Chris.
What's the
What's your name? Abby.
I love the voice that says here, it sounds like a woman.
That's a bloke, but he said the name Abby.
Abby?
Which is a girl's name.
I'm very good at it.
Is Abby here? Or did you go to the Abbey? What Abbey did you go to?
On the road to Leeds.
What was your job here? What was it that you done here?
Can I speak to the steward or the gatekeeper, please? Can you hear me? How many of there are you here, please? Oh, I didn't hear that. Yeah? Did you say, forgive me for those of you listening at home, did you say the word fuck off? Why don't you want to talk to us? You told us that you were here, and you told us that you could see us. We haven't come here to cause trouble. We're not one of those people that have come here to smash things up and desecrate this site.
Damage.
Damage? That's the one thing we've never done.
It's one thing we've never caused is damage here, and if you think that we have, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. We haven't come here to damage. When we leave, we take everything that we can with us. Do you get bad people in here? Have you had bad people come in here?
Oh, sorry if you heard.
Yes? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in good? Do you believe in evil? I don't understand why you swore at us and why you swore at us. I didn't hear you swear, my friend did, but...
Qualifying.
That's what it sounds like anyway.
Are there people that used to sleep here, Rob? People that were rough sleepers, people that had nowhere else to live? People that came here to find a shelter from the rain and the wind? Slow down. Are there any persons in spirit here who would like to speak to us? You know that we're here. Yeah. And what is your name, sir? The man who just spoke. What is your name, please?
What would you like to say to us?
Have you got a message we can take back that you can say to us? I know you're standing behind us, I know you're watching us. What?
No.
And where are you watching us from? Where can you see us?
How do you are?
Are you hovering above us? Are you looking down upon us? We're not come here to be threatening or abusive to you. We're just asking you civil questions, and we would hope that you may give us a civil response. That's that same voice again, isn't it? What is your name, sir, please? Would you like to tell us your name? Just to repeat once more, my name is Chris.
No lady.
I know you're trying to... Hello? Did you hear hello? Hello?
Minted.
Minted.
Hi again. Hello again.
The light's flashing on that camera, so we haven't got long.
Do you enjoy being here? Yeah? Good. That's what we like to hear. We like it as well. We think it's beautiful. Is Abby still here?
Are there any members of the Hayden family here? It was at this point that the room temperature suddenly dropped and I felt two very icy cold hands just gently rubbing down my back. I just felt like a coldness, like hands running down my
Oh,
back.
yeah, that's your coldness. It's really strong.
No, I felt his like hands rubbing down my back.
Really?
Yeah.
No. I mean, so suddenly I got it right cold.
It's gone really, really cold in here.
Yeah, very cold.
During the evening, we decided also to have a wander within the inner courtyard and the curtain wall to see whether or not we could pick up or elicit any form of activity, and particularly that of EVP. And I was certainly surprised by what we caught on camera, as you'll see here. And we're coming over to the other corner now, from the opposite end of the towers. The tower here is still here, but it's almost hollow, as you can see. That was a moth. Now I'm making my way up the other wall, heading back towards the tower, but to the right of it as we're facing it. I understand that in times past people had actual accommodation in those towers, probably the soldiers in the garrison here. Let's see. The other corner tower, so that's 3 towers that we've come across. The 4th tower is buried by the weaving shed or weaving building. Now here's an interesting focal point for any castle. These are wind eyes. These are used as arrow slits, and they ran both diagonal to each other. So you would create a crossfire. So if anyone was attacking, you would be standing here firing to a centre point, and somebody else would be standing here firing from this. So the arrows would literally be crossing each other's paths like an X, attacking anyone who's coming towards the castle, trying to breach the moat. A very unusual way of defending a castle, but I would have thought very effective. So it doesn't give you a complete direct line of sight, it only gives you a perspective from a certain angle. And you can see it just here as well. So these are wind eyes. The word windows actually derives from the wind eyes, and we call them arrow slits, but that's their proper term. Okay, we're coming right up to the tower now. I'll just take you up to the top. And then we're coming back into the entrance to the tower. And here we are, we're back in the gatehouse, the inner gatehouse. The only officially known ghostly history of Baconsthorpe Castle appertains to that of a soldier who stands in one of the corner towers by the moat. And this occurs apparently during the daytime. And for any unsuspecting tourist or visitor, he draws your attention to him by throwing a stone in front of you in the moat. I've been there on countless occasions. I've never experienced anything appertaining to that. And certainly speaking to other people that have visited the site, they too have felt nothing unusual in that regard. I think it's just a fairy tale story, again, that's been passed down over the centuries to entertain the children or the grandchildren, or perhaps to keep people away from the site at night. It is still an interesting story regardless. But the real ghostly history certainly is within the weaving shed, and most importantly the inner gatehouse. When we went to the outer gatehouse, we certainly picked up some EVP there on the box, but the general ambience there, even during the day or night, doesn't lend itself to any form of haunted activity that you can feel or experience. It's a very sad place because it was once a beautiful building that had sadly been ravaged by nature, and now of course this beautiful house lies in ruin. So there is a sadness that permeates itself. Other than that, nothing much else at all. It is always with regard to Baconsthorpe, the inner gatehouse, the curtain walls, the grounds in between, and the moat which surrounds it. But anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed these ghostly tales, and I hope that you've enjoyed the investigation. And of course, as always, I look forward to seeing you all again soon.